Hi, I'm Chris Adams. Today I'm going to talk about perfect force tuning, part 12, playing 1, 4, and 5 chords in the inversions for good voice leading in the same octave. So the goals of guitar in fourth gear is to use perfect force tuning to simplify the patterns that we've learned from caged and help experienced guitarists get out of the caged box thinking and relearn guitar from first principles. So you're going to, instead of memorizing large patterns across all 6 strings, you're going to start with the intervals and get down to the building blocks of music and start again. And I think by the time you're done, you can study music as a lifelong learning experience and really enhance your life by learning guitar, relearning guitar as a process and something to do to enjoy yourself when the robots are doing your laundry and mowing the lawn. You can practice guitar. So what is perfect force tuning? We tune fourths straight across. So if you're used to tuning at your 5th fret, just keep going. Oops, just keep going. You don't shift down to the 4th fret anymore. So it's symmetrical all the way across, same fingering all the way across. This guitar, the Stratocaster, I'm tuned down. So that's how I roll. In other videos, I go into a lot of detail about how this works. By the end of this lesson, I want to show you how to play major triad inversions in the same octave, in different, starting on the root position, the first inversion, and the second inversion. And what this does is it creates voice leading, and it helps you with your pattern recognition of playing the triads. And so there's all kinds of people that are really good at this. Bob Weir, the Grateful Dead, is a master at playing this, because if you're going to play the same 3 chords for 4 hours a night for 50 years, inversions help freshen it up. So there's going to be a link to the PDF in the description for enhanced learning. Okay, so in the previous video, I talked about inversions, but we'll go over it again quickly. So these are the inversions. So you're going to start with in root position, the first position, and the second position, inversion. Okay. So there's how they fit together, and here's how they go up the neck here. So we'll start again at the root, then we're going to go to the first inversion, and then we're going to go to the second inversion. Okay. So with the 1, 4, and 5 chords, the chords we all know with the. So that's the way most of us learn to play them in the first place, is parallel fifths. But it's, everybody knows that chord progression. So the 1, 4, 5 chord progression uses all 7 tones in the scale. So we have 1, 3, 5, then 4, 6, 1 again, and then 5, 7, 2. And so the 5 chord really wants to go somewhere and wants to come back here. So I played all those in root position, but when we use inversions, you'll hear it. It's going to sound nicer because we're doing voice leading, and by learning your inversions of the chords, that's how the voice leading is going to work. So with each, starting with the 1 chord on the root, we have the root inversion, or first root inversion, then we go to the second inversion of the 4 chord and the first inversion of the 5 chord. It'll make more sense later. Then as we move up, we start with the first inversion of the well, I'll play it. So with the root here, whoops. Okay, and then we're going to go to the second inversion of the 4 chord, and then we're going to go to the first inversion of the 5 chord, and then we're going to go back to the root. Okay, then we move up to the first inversion. I'll get back, I'll show you the diagrams in a minute. Of the 1 chord, and then we're going to go up to the root position of the 4 chord, then we're going to go down to the second inversion of the 5 chord, and then back to the 1. And then finally we're going to start on the second inversion of the 1 chord. We're going to go to the first inversion of the 4 chord, and then we're going to go to the root position of the 5 chord, and we're going to go back here. So with that combination, you can play Scarlet Begonias all night long, the 1, 4, 5 chords. And so here it is graphically, right? So we're going to start with a 1 chord here, and we're going to be on the 5th fret on the A flat string, the A string. So here's our 1 chord, and we're going to go to the 4 chord, but it's the second inversion, see? And then we're going to go to the 5 chord, and then back to the 1 chord. So I left this coloring here as if it's the major scale. So it's my own kind of somewhat quirky coloring, but the root 3rd and 5th, and then the root 4th and 6th, sorry, and then the 7th, 2nd, and 5th, and then the 1, 3, 5, back to the beginning. Okay, so we practice that. So that's right at the root, the 4 chord, the kind of E shape of the 4 chord, if you will, and then the G shape portion of the G shape, and back to kind of the C shape. You can't get it too far away from caged, but we don't need it anymore. It's just these shapes. And if you want to do it on another string set, just to emphasize this. So we're going to be a new key, but same shapes. So this is B. This is B. So we're going to go B, and then we're going to go, what's next? F sharp, and then we're going to go. Gosh, I'm slow. I'm tuned differently. What am I doing here? F sharp again. F sharp. Sorry, should have studied more. 1, 4, 5, 1. And we're over here. 1, 4, 5, and over here. 1, 4, 5. Same shape everywhere. 1, 4, 5. Yeah, so once you get those shapes happening, you learn more. Sure. So we started back here. So let's retrain our ears back to the first sound, which we're going to be on D flat with this tuning. Whoops. But now we're going to, now in this example, we're going to move up to the first inversion. So we go from this one. So we're at the 7th fret here, focused on the first note's on the 9th fret. 9, 7, 7. So we're going to start here in the first inversion, and we're going to go 10, 9, 7. That same C shape, and we're going to go, whoops. We're going to play that better. All right, so 1 chord, the 4 chord in the root position, and the 5 chord in the second inversion, and 1 chord in the first. Okay? Okay, and I'll try to make less of a mess of it, but you can just bring it up an octave. Whoops. My guitar's not super in tune, but same shape. Same shape. Very important. Same shape. So you don't have to, if we were doing caged, we'd be learning each time you shift, it'd be new chords. Super confusing. So now we're going to go up for the last time, we're going to start on the second inversion here of the 1 chord. So we start with the 1 chord down here, then we're going to go up here to the 3rd. Now we're up here, and in this case it's the 12th fret, and then we're going to go to the first inversion of the 4 chord. Then we're going to go to the root position of the 5 chord and back to the 1. All right, 1, 4, 5, 1. But you'll notice it's the exact same shapes we've been playing the whole time, right? So this shape of the 4 chord is the same as this shape here of the 1 chord. So 1 here. And the 4 chord we get a different way. So you'll see that they fit in together as they go up the neck. So here again, we're on the 5th fret, so we go to the 5th fret, which is D flat on this guitar, and we're going to go to G flat, or sorry, we're going to go to first inversion, and then we go to the second inversion. Then when we go up to the 4 chord, it's the same things here, same shapes. Here's the root position. Whoops. Root position, first inversion, second inversion. But in this case, we're playing the second inversion octave down here. So you can also see that when you're playing the 4 chord, another place to get to the second position. So you're playing any chord. Sorry. So let's any chord in the first. Hold on. Okay, so now we're going to move up to the second inversion. So we started here with the first inversion. Whoops. So we went before we were at 1 chord, second inversion of the 4 chord, first inversion of the 5 chord, and back to the 1 chord. Now we're going to slide up and start on the first inversion of the 1 chord. So we go from here, and now here is what we see in the diagram. So 9, 7, 7, or 3rd, 5th root. And then we're going to go to the 4 chord, which goes to the 10th fret, and we're going to go to the 5 chord. Okay, so all these chords have the same shapes. We're just playing them in different places. So if we play them all in first position, root position, here we start here and we just slide up. Whoops. Whoops. Same shape. So we're gonna play if we play the first inversion. Alright, but we're gonna, instead of sliding up in parallel fifths, we're gonna do this. So we're gonna play this triad, same shape, but the 4 chord. Okay, so next we're gonna go up to the 12th fret and play the second inversion. So we started with a root position, then we went to the first position, first inversion. Now we're gonna do the second inversion. So we're going to go to the second inversion of the 1 chord, the first inversion of the 4 chord, the root position of the 5 chord. Let me tune that up a little bit, and then back to the 1 chord. Okay, so study the PDF, practice moving those shapes, and then you'll find that you're changing chords without moving your fingers very far. So that's going to be good for your voice leading, because as you'll see, the thirds of the chord become, voice leading is a little bit beyond a little bit out of scope for what I'm talking about here, but that's what we're working towards. So thanks for watching. Thanks for getting this far. Take your time, this type of practice is thinking, learning, not shredding. But once you get this under your fingers, you'll be able to play quicker, and you'll be connecting spots in your brain with the patterns, and the fourth tuning makes the patterns, repeating patterns, easier to see and find. So it'll take some time. Give it a few weeks or even months of just slowly practicing, and you will thank yourself in the future. So here's the books I've written about this topic. So the first one on the left is more for changing your mindset to go from caged thinking to perfect force thinking. And what we've been talking about today is mostly featured in the kind of Chrome-based book of the Triad studies. So this is like the beginning part of the Triad studies. It's a very comprehensive book about all the different positions. Again, all from first principles, so it's not going to shoot you off in a stratosphere, but it's very methodically going to march through all the combinations to have under your fingers. And here's my website for more information, more stuff that I do. Thanks for joining me, and have a great day.